Alright, so I was on the way home from the gym and I came to a spot and was wide open. I decided to try a little launch control test doing 0 to 60 in the McLaren because I had the V-Box in from the races this weekend. And it was super hot out. I noticed the tire temperatures were really hot, and that's usually good for 0 to 60 times in this car. So I gave it a try and the thing showed off. The V-Box showed 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. So I thought I'd do a little video on some hints on how to get the best performance if you're up against a race or against an all-wheel drive car and a wheel-wheel drive car. Some hints to get the 0 to 60 time down. I put the cameras in the car and I did even better, which I'm about to show you now. Alright, so first up, I am on the original OEM P0 Corsa tires. And these come on the car from the factory, but they like to be warm. So if they're super cold, they're gonna spin a lot. So what I do is I let the car sit out in the sun for a little bit, just about a half an hour to 45 minutes in direct sunlight. These tires heat up to like 115 degrees, and as I'll show you in the car, that is plenty to get good traction. So even though on the top end, if the car's hot, you might not get as much performance in the top end. If you're doing a dig race against a Lambo all-wheel drive car or a Tesla, you want to have these tires nice and hot. And since you really can't do a burnout, let them sit out in the sun unless you got some tire heaters like that guy from ACO that ran 9.7 in his stock car, but he had tire heaters. So, all right, so after you got the tires nice and hot sitting out in the sun, I like to keep the tire pressure, check it. So when it's hot, it's actually at 30 PSI. So let's check that here. 30 PSI is a good mix there because if you go too low, the tires are so wide they can actually cup in the middle and you'll actually have less traction. So 30 PSI on the Pirelli P0 Corsa tires. All right, so I got my exhaust microphone on and we got cameras set up inside here. We got the GoPro on the gauges. We got the V-Box. And I'll set up my camera as well, and let's go do some shots for 0 to 60. Now I'm not going to go over the entire launch procedure because I already did that in a previous video, but it's pretty easy in the McLaren. All you do is got to put the car in drive, put it in first gear, make sure you're on the active manual. To get the best 0 to 60s, I prefer to be in sport and track, and then all you do is press the launch button. It says launch awaiting throttle, mash the throttle, wait till it says boost ready, and at that point you let go. All right, so let's head out and give it a few tests. Here we are for the first test, how to get the best 0 to 60 time out of the McLaren on the street. So as I said before, what I did is I left the car out in the sun for a few minutes to heat up the tires, and they're really hot. They're showing on here 116 degrees. I'll put up a little screenshot of that. On the street, hot tires is important to get that extra grip down for the 0 to 60 time. I'm gonna do two tests. One, allowing the McLaren to build full boost, because when you go into launch mode, it says boost building and then ready. And then there's another one where if you don't wait for the full boost to go, it comes off a little softer, but might spin less. So we're gonna give the first test a try. I'm gonna go ahead and do it with full boost. Here we go. Zero to 60 on the V-Box, full boost shows 2.8 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it another try, and I'm not gonna wait for the full boost to hit and see if I can come off a little bit softer without so much wheel spin. Unbelievably fast. 0 to 60 on that one was the same, 2.8 seconds. Now I'll have to pull the card out and look at the actual data to see if which one was better. Tires are getting a little hotter. I'm going to try it again. Held that down a little longer that time. Let's see what we got. Same, 0 to, hard to see on this screen here, but we got 0 to 60 in 2.8 and 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds. That's just phenomenal for a street car. One more try. There we go. 0 to 60, 2.7 seconds on the V-Box on the street. Unbelievable. All right, so I just went and pulled the card and got the actual numbers for 0 to 60 and 0 to 100. And the car did a 0 to 60 best. Actually, they're all in the 2.7 range. They were like but the best one was 2.7 seconds to 60 miles an hour, and 0 to 100 was 5.4. And I'll put up a screenshot of the rest of them. They're all in the 2.7 range. High boost, low boost, whatever. It still spins the tires a little bit, but those are the tricks you can use to get the best 0 to 60 times. If you're going out for a race, you're racing a Lamborghini Huracan, it's got all-wheel drive and does 0 to 60 in about the same, or you're racing a Tesla and you want the maximum performance off, use those hints I gave you. Put the car in the sun, make sure the tires in the back are hot, put the tire pressure around 30 psi, and be low on fuel, and you'll get really good times. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. I just got notified that the Ford GT is in production, and we should have that here really, really soon. Thanks.